I've been trying out is not in its final form, but it's trying to play lots of equipment cards and try to have cards with synergy with the equipments. There are quite a bunch of it. So we have weapons trainer, we have militant inquisitor, we have ironclad slayer, and this is one of the stars of the deck, the Kazul Stole Collector, that lets you equip the cards without paying his equipment costs, and then the Abyssin Missionaries that transforms into Lunarch Inquisitors, exiling target creature in the process until they die. And well, those are the main creatures here, and because we need much equipment, we have a lot of it in the deck. I think that the key for this deck to work is to you need to give your cards haste and or trample. We are running Hunger Garrison. I wonder if I have another Slayer's Blade. I do. I think that I'm going to swap just one of the bones. So the bone saw is nice because it costs 0, but Slayer's Blade I think is the most powerful equipment that we have. And also we have Hunger Garrison coupled with the battlements to run for more push power, and Looming Spires and Sandstorm Bridge. And as you have seen probably, Nahiri to help us get rid of nasty permanents from the other side, and also a couple of combat assistants in the form of Nahiri's Machination to make one of our creatures indestructible and write down a nice looking card, nice art that gives trample to one of our attackers while destroying a blocking creature. So let's try to see how this does. And so far I've tried this deck a few times. I think that it still requires a little bit of tune, but I had lots of fun with it, and it packs quite a punch. It is more powerful than I first expected it to be, but I think that the equipment cards, one or two in a deck might be okay, but maybe there are too many here. So we have a nice starting hand with the only particular thing that we have only 3 drops to play, but we might be playing the Slaphammer or lands enter tapped. I think I'm going to keep, but if we are against an aggressive deck, this is too slow, but lucky for us the opponent has started with a tapped land too. So let's go ahead, play, and we can search for a plains, and then we might want to drop the Slaphammer onto, let's see, Vessel of Nascency, and apparently no lands from the opponent. Now there it is. Let's get ourselves a plains. Now we have Clifftop Retreat. I think this lets us play the Slaphammer. The Slaphammer is kind of late game equipment because this one gives a temporary bonus to the creature if you return a land card to your hand, and this is a nice target to if you want to play this. But on the other the bad part of if this makes you delay your plays, so the opponent trying to fill up his graveyard, probably a Delirium deck, Sorry. So here, let's go with, we have all our militant inquisitors. Well, I think there might be another one in here, but this is starting to look good. Let's see if the opponent attacks. I think it's better for us to equip the slap hammer, otherwise I think just playing another inquisitor is going to be better. So the opponent sacrifices this. Right. Nothing too relevant so far. There's plenty of graveyard filling and fetching that is going to get there, but I don't know why the opponent played that way. He could have waited until the end of our turn. So, let's see. So, weapons trainer, I think we can wait because this is a little weak to attack into the crow. So let's go with the Sunstone Bridge over here. Probably the opponent is just going to block. I imagine that because this did not attack. So I don't know if you can hear, but there is a background sound of Hero Farms Saga or something. That is a nice Facebook game that my wife likes to play. And she doesn't like me speaking of her. No, she should not worry. I'm only speaking of his game. No, Dark Salvation here, making 2 zombie tokens and killing one of our inquisitors. So, Haunted Cloak on this one could work. Otherwise, we could equip this one, bring back one of. Okay, let's equip this here. Let's tap right the red. No problem. Now we are going to attack. Let's see if the opponent tries to double block here. And yes, let's return a mountain to our hand. So the opponent chose to take the damage. Maybe he has some board clear, but if that's the case, I think I'm going to play the Haunted Cloak because the opponent kills our creature. This one is going to give haste to our next one. So we could go with Militant Inquisitor and equip. So what worries most me is the possibility of a emerge creature around these ones. The opponent has the blob, inexorable blob, so he's going to drop that one now. No, instead is the Murderous Compulsion. Not bad. So here, no point in dropping the Golden Wilds. So let's go with the Inquisitor. Plus equipping the Haunted Cloak here. So since now he's also enjoying vigilance, he's no longer be a target for another compulsion. Hit the opponent for 4. So, provided this one lives and the opponent does not have a blocker, but that would be very strange. We have little, I guess, by playing Weapons Trainer and equipping Slap Hammer. But this is quite suspicious here. I'm going to skip blocking because I do not want to lose this to a pump up spell. But the scavenger appears. Good. So this is even more power with us. And unless the opponent has some form of fog or flash creature, he is dead with the write down. So let's attack. We're going to bring back the Lumen Spires. If we can click it, yes, there it is. Let's see, the opponent kind of has to block here. Let's see, murder, that is pain, and the murder flips the game with that. So is there something that we can do to avoid dying next turn? Doesn't seem so. I think that even if I had done this before combat, still we couldn't be getting the opponent with only 3 damage. So, and also this one will kill our weapons trainer. So the murder is more powerful than the murderous compulsion. So we were up against a killer, and now we just die. He kills our beautiful. Well, still a good game, I would say, but we were almost there. The opponent had good draws. We have kind of good draws too, but not as good as the opponent. So let's go ahead with our next opponent. So that I don't dislike players using those cards. It shows a kind of non-variety. I'm kind of tired of seeing Ambushed American and Declaration in Stone all over the place, but those are too powerful cards, so there's no reason for players not to use them. So only lands and 1 equipment have to go deeper. This one has no creatures, but the good lands are there. Let's go with a plains here. The haste aspect from the Hunger Battlements is significant many times. So let's see another. This is the same opponent. I don't remember, but this looks like another Delirium deck. Weapons Trainer, but we cannot play quite yet. So let's go with Lumen Spires without value and pass the turn. Perhaps it's better to have Nahir's Machinations before trying to play the Weapons Trainer. But we also have the write down. So let's see, Rogue's Passage is good. And next turn, Hunger Battlements could give haste to Weapons Trainer. I think having Sigil of Valor first is kind of better for us. But I'm not too sure if this is the right card to play now. So we need another red to play. No, we still are not going to be able to give this one haste. The opponent still has not delirium. So it would be nice if the game showed what the opponent got. So Evolving Wilds, and let's go with the Weapons Trainer now for the moment. And the Evolving Wilds, we get another red. So since this transforms if by the end step it is equipped, I think it's better to wait so we can play this one and equip at the same turn to exile menacing opponents. Very scary creature. So our crow. I think this is the one that he brought back with the vessel. So prey upon. He has 3 card types in graveyard. No, he has already 4. We are not blocking now. So another one of these. That's cool. Pretty cool. And not quite sure. Let's try to play this. And since I want to start attacking as soon as possible, I'm going to equip the Weapons Trainer. So when we attack, the Sigil of Valor pumps up for +1/+1 for every other creature if this attacking alone. We kill the crow, so we do not have to worry about a flyer. And the opponent has this in the graveyard, he's likely to have something to return this to his hand and kill one of our creatures on the spot. So I think I'm going to skip blocking, and the opponent probably is going to do a sacrifice here. Inexorable block. So this is very cool. If we can give this one haste, but against this board it's not going to be so powerful. We're kind of short on mana to play the write down. So this comes as a 3/3. So I think we have to wait here. The opponent has cards much more cheaper than ours. So let's try to hit the opponent for 4 here. Let's see if he trades. He does not. Now we are going to equip here. Okay. And now this is going to transform and we get to exile this one, but it's not going to last too long, but we have a second one in hand. The opponent needs to fetch the Kindly Stranger, paying 2 mana from this, or something of the sort. This one, no, I think he needs the grapple with the past or something. Now, here I do not know if I have to take it, but if the opponent doesn't have another blocker, we can haste Hungry Garrison, and thanks to the weapon trainer is going to smash the opponents. So this is sweet. Now we can also write down. Let's go. No. Now the game is trying to tap down the hunger battlements. That it could be quite awful. So let's tap by hand, just because I don't trust the auto tapping from the computer. Here, there we go. That's what it is. Now we are going to give haste to the sky, and if we attack, we get in for a ton of damage. I wonder if well, it's an interesting experiment that came up to me. What happens if I use the Sigil of Valor on the garrison? Could it trigger or could it not? So the thing is, I have to leave a blocker back. I'm going to leave these two. So I think I should have equipped this Sigil of Valor. Let's see. I need two blockers because if the opponent removes one of them, we die. Two board. So, Basil of Necessity. Wow. We dodge all this removal, I think. Well, now he has one. Alright. 9. It's a close call here. He's going to be able to kill this one. We are going to... No, instead is Liliana's Elite. Oh no, that's very strange. That is not what I expected him to play. 3, we are at 5. And this time I think the write down is going to be towards the creature blocking Inquisitors. We are going full in. Also, here's Machination is able to get rid of some blockers, and Bonzo for 0. We can equip this over this guy. I think if we attack with this one alone, we win, thanks to the other equipment. So we might even give this one unblockable. Let's see. So plenty of actions to make this. So let's just in case, make this one unblockable. Just if the opponent chooses to block with many creatures at the same time, this is not giving us the victory. So 10-8 against the opponent's face, and we did it. So again, the question remains: what happens if we use Sigil of Valor over the hardware garrison? So let's try to find out on a game that we are not so against the ropes. Let's find ourselves final opponent. So kind of a thing that I wanted to mention is that equipment in Spanish could be equipamiento or also equipo, but the word equipo also means team in English, like a group of persons. So teamwork could be trabajo de equipo. Kind of funny. The homonyms, I think they are called, because homonyms do not translate, of course. It's loading. And let's see. Well, against Delirium decks, we have 1 out of 2 games with victory. I do not know if the opponent was the same, but at least he had similar cards. But it's not too weird to find two players using the same deck, because kind of the Delirium deck is going to be using those cards anyways. So, loading. Soon it's going to start. Let's see what's going on. Come on. Loading. Well, I should mention that there is a little bit of instability with the deck, because I think that having more allies could help the deck, because there happen to be some nice allies in white and red that can get along with other of our creatures, but with respect to the equipments, they are not so good. So kind of a little sad about that they are not right. There's not a single equipment that one can say that if I play this card I'm going to win for sure. But the ones that we have are pretty balanced, I would say. There is also, I'm not running in this version of the deck, there is also an equipment that can let you activate this card on demand, that you can use that to activate madness cards, and I think that is quite amusing. You can even if you can have an equipped creature, you can re-equip the creature. So maybe sometime not too far in the future, I'm going to try to make a self-discard deck using that card. But provided we get out of the loading screen sometime. Come on, loading. This is 0. Come on, I know you are there. Come on, loading screen, you can do it. Let's chase the tail. Okay, the tail. It's harder to chase the tail than the head. Oh, okay, let's chase the head. There we go. Now, counter-revolution. Well, so there. Okay. Yeah, well, no, domestic life is so nice. Mm, well, there are new expansions announced from the Wizards of the Coast. Some of those I quite not interested in, because I think this is a conspiracy expansion, but the idea is that you get value of the cards when you are drafting. So to make that kind of cards useful, you have to be on a draft game, and then you have to be in a free-for-all game. I don't think that is coming to Magic Duels Online or Magic Online anytime soon. Perhaps it is, but I kind of doubt it. Also, there's the Kaladesh expansion, but I'm not sure when it's going to hit the digital version. Now, when Out of the Gatewatch was announced, it was not released in the Magic Duels. After we had to wait to battle for Zendikar and they appeared together. I could prefer if they release the digital version at the same time as the paper version, because if they release too much content at the same time, it's kind of overwhelming. For instance, I myself do not have a complete set of Eldritch Moon because I was still trying to collect shadows over Innistrad when it came out. So, if I would like to save my coins, so let's hope that this game starts. Come on, I want to face an amusing opponent. Come on! So, right now the Kaladesh expansion kind of, I think it particularly has too much innovation in there. There are new cards type, I guess, or subtype that are the vehicles, and with a new mechanic that is called crew. You have to tap your creatures to make the vehicles able to attack. Kind of interesting, but the card is an artifact, but it cannot attack because it has crew. So interesting concept, but they are also adding energy counters to the players. So some cards produce energy counters that you store in, I guess, your face, and some cards spend those counters to do some actions. So the Castle Stone Collector, but I think this hand has too many lands. Let's risk it with a new hand that also has too many lands. Okay, now I'm going to keep, just because since we have the Slap Hammer, having too many lands it's not going to be that awful, and Haunted Cloak lets us give haste to our creatures so we can recover the lost time. The only thing that we do not want now is to keep drawing more lands. Let's continue. Let's play the Slap Hammer just because, and let's see what happens next. So a 1-drop could be nice. Vampires. The vampires can grow very large very quick, so if we do not get action soon we are going to lose. Now, well, what about this? Quite some action there. So, no, not over yet, but this is not looking too good. If we got our hands on the Hungry Garrison, I think it's the best creature that we can pull out now. But with 4 lands we can play any card that we have. This is going to gain +2, -2, and he drops the Arsenal Visitor. Next turn we are going to be receiving 6. This is not looking good. 7 lands after the mulligan. Now let's hope to have something that is not a land. Oh god. So Mm, I think that maybe we spent all of our luck on the previous games. I don't know why 8 lands on the top 10 cards. That is devastating. This situation is called a mana flood. The good news is that whatever we have, we can haste with Lunin Spires or the Sandstone Bridge. The opponent might be even willing to activate this, but chose not to. But okay, hyper aggression from the other side, and we are only drawing lands. That's just not funny. So the opponent can even discard 2 and hit us for little. Let's see if he might be suspecting us having something, but if he knew, I think that if the opponent knew what we have here, he will concede just to show us his pity to us. Come on. 9 lands. No. Even if we draw whatever, we are losing. Now, let's see, the opponent is going to activate this. Let's scare the opponent. Fired. So even fire temper to the face to overkill us. So, but we had the lands. Alright, free victory for the opponent. And so this game doesn't count. So go ahead. This is going to be the final one. Joining session. There we go. This is the final one. So let's hope the opponent is not playing blue and white spirits, just because the spirits are kind of overpowered in this edition of the Magic. So this is quite better. The Needle Spires is a very tricky card to have for us. We might end up activating this one to finish the opponent. So far white and black. Let's hope the opponent is not running blue also. Somewhat interesting situation because we have only tapped lands here. Let's go with the Looming Spires for the moment. Next we can play the Haunted Cloak. It's not bad because we can give haste to the Kazul Stone Collector with it. Kindly Stranger. So maybe it's a white Delirium deck. That's a novelty. So Weapons Trainer. Kind of like the Haunted Cloak here. So next turn we can Kazul Stone Collector, Sunstorm Bridge to pump this one. We give him Trample and Vigilance and Haste. And next turn we can play another creature. So, but Kindly Stranger can kill our creatures if he gets Delirium. she becomes the demon possessed witch. Let's go with our plan. Castle Stole Collector. We're going to give this one +1/+1 and deactivate the ability to get this one. And what is going to happen now is that the opponent is going to Unwish it and making the Castle Stole Collector. I kind of foresee that happening. That is so boring. Okay, but what are we going to do about it? There's not much that we can do. Let's see. Come on, Unwish it and make. Probably I'm not doing the right pronunciation. Anguished and making, maybe the proper name. So, not so bad. Could be very worst. Weapons trainer plus the I guess the sigil. We attach this one to us. But if we attack, this one has first strike, so we cannot quite yet pass through. Let's skip and continue. Let's see. Reprisal. Interesting. Better than the making, but still. This is 2 for equip. So we have to need 4 mana to activate this. Getting hit for 5, and the opponent has mana to activate the Shambling Bent. We cannot activate the Needle Spires. Next, thanks to Weapons Trainer, Needle Spires is quite powerful. The Military Inquisitor plus the Haunted Cloak. I think that's the way to go. Ah no, but this enters tapped, of course. So, never mind. Let's go with this and attack for trying to deal 4. Opponent probably is going to take it. So he can retaliate 2, 4, 6, 9, and if he transforms these ones, he has lots of damage against us. So we are pretty much dead, and now he kills Inquisitor. No, other one. So this time we are short on mana. We cannot activate Needle Spires. That's we cannot equip the Avacyn Missionaries. That is just mana screwed or mana float. Just right. Alright, it's over. Let's bring back the planes. And the opponent is just messing with us. So too bad we couldn't play the cards. Oh, well, a bitter ending, but well, Talia is way too powerful. And there we are. Boom. What another loss for this deck. Come on. Let's try just once more, because losing because the mana is not right is not a good feeling. Come on, this is the definitively the last one. This is it. We are not going to have mana problems in this game. The mana is going to flow when we need it, as we want it. Come on. So another card that we might want to add here is Knight of the White Orchid, just for situations when we are behind on lands, but I'm not sure if it's worth to have that one. But on the other, it also has first strike 2/2 for 2 first strike with equipments on it. It's going to become terrifying, so maybe it's worth to run the Night White Orchid. I do not remember the proper name. Here we have a turn 1 play following Sunstone Bridge, so we can start with a pretty aggressive opener. Depending on what we draw next, we might decide to go with Sunstone Bridge or the Evolving Wilds. If we need the red soon, we have to play the Evolving Wilds, but instead it was Slayer's Plate. So let's go ahead with this and attack for 2. Yeah, this time this is a good start. It's not over yet, but things are looking good. Let's see, we do not want to play this on 4 actually. So now we might just want to sit with a Slayer's Plate. No, never mind. We have now what to do here. Let's get the Slayer's Plate. So I kind of starting to guess the opponent is trying to emerge something out of the Primal Druid. So far only Rin and Reclamation Sage destroys the Slayer's Plate. That's good, but we have more equipment and we have some fetching, so here we are going to be giving this one first strike. So let's go ahead and I think nothing. Skip the deck and I think I misplayed there. Okay. Because I forgot this one. That was a misplay from my side because I forgot this one. Because 3 total power, toughness, and Now this is kind of something to worry about, but we can rogue's passage here. I have seen missionaries. We are going to equip for one. We have now given this a lot of power and the ability to become transformed into the Lunarch Inquisitors. Now the opponent is going to fetch a land and he gets a clue. And the Westpale Abbey next to the clues is going to be problematic, and he has black. Very important thing. So do we want to exile this? Perhaps we do. The downside of doing that is that if the opponent removes the Inquisitors, this returns to the battlefield and it gets to destroy another one of our enchantments. Rip Soul, also white. So this is not the kind of deck that I was expecting. Maybe it's about tokens. Not sure. Sylvan Advocate. Another one of those. Kind of nice. Let's go find ourselves a land. So here's the thing. We can exile this one with good attack using the Rogue's Passage. I think that exiling the Sylvan Advocate is kind of better for us. Let's just equip this and move on. Continue, skip the attack. This also transforms, and we also exile this guy. Now we kind of have a better board, but the opponent, the kind of creatures he's using, I'm kind of scared. So we are going to get rid of. So we do not return the Reclamation Sage quite yet. So let's place this once again on these Lunarch Inquisitors, and let's see if the opponent dares to block us. Oops, we forgot to give this one unblockable. We remove this one from the battlefield. Hit the opponent for 3 thanks to trample. And let's drop this one just in case, because we do not know what the opponent is going to find with the clue. And it's kind of likely that he is running a couple of planeswalkers with white. Flashback Marauder. We are going to get rid of this. So this is kind of points towards a desperation move from the opponent's side. I think he has nothing better to do. He should probably have cracked the clue before doing the Flashback Marauder. I think that's not the right order to play the clues. Maybe he now has another card that he wants to use. Cannot. So let's go with Weapons Trainer. And we can even give this one haste, so we can make a more powerful attack. So let's see if the opponent wants to trade with our trainer. Apparently he does. I think it is worth to remove the tokens before he gets to activate the Lesbiel Abbey. And now, just because we have the mana, we equip the Inquisitors and continue. If the opponent finds something to kill, this one is going to be bad for us. But, well, there it is. And now this is gone. Not over yet, so the Tireless Tracker is going to be quite problematic. But the opponent is at 9th. The problem for us is that our hand is looking quite empty. But what are we going to do? Let's go ahead and see how much can we survive here. So a Planeswalker could be horrible. But now if the opponent has to sacrifice a non-token creature to flip this Liliana. So the clues are killing us because the opponent draws much more than us. That's the main issue, and the opponent even can bring Ormental into the fight, so we are not going to survive another turn after this. An Inquisitor. Well, not too much point, but let's just attack and see what happens. Probably blocks with Liliana, and that's it. Maybe double block. And that's it. So, game. Well, pretty standard deck from the other side, with powerful synergies between these two. And the question remains why the opponent is running white in this deck. Perhaps he has a white Planeswalker, I could guess. So, well, but still, I think that this time it was worth. The game was not awful like before, and we stood a chance. Maybe, of course, we are kind of vulnerable to Flashback Marauder if we only have one creature in play. So that's the equipment deck. Maybe later on I tune it to have a little more resilience against those plays. Let's see, another booster is going to have, wow, another, speaking of equipments, this one giving +2/+2, kind of playable. It's not the best one out there, but The equipment cost is expensive, but giving especially the +2 over some creature might be quite interesting. Borrowed hostility, very nasty combat trick with escalate. The Haunted Death, one of the best zombies that there are in Eldritch Moon, because it comes with a friend in the form of a 1/1 white spirit creature token, and you can pay mana and discard 2 to return this one to the graveyard tapped, so you get the spirit again. And my first Nibbles of Frost, I think this is one of the most powerful cards on the wall set, because for 4 mana you got a 3/3 flyer that has prowess, so you can make this one quite large, and also whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get to tap target creature an opponent controls. So this has too much text on it, it's kind of extremely powerful. And finally, this Delirium creature that I don't think is particularly helpful, but might find his home in some Delirium deck and grapple with the past. So that was it. Too few victories, but don't count those that the losses that were due to the mana screw or the mana flute. That doesn't count. So I'll be seeing you soon enough, and so I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to leave your comments in the description, and sayonara.